The following may contain language that is not suitable for all audiences. It's time. For the Comically Low-Fat Podcast.
Woohoo!
Funnily enough, my co-host here.
I'm a little under the weather.
Really? Are you going to say you're under the weather? I mean...
It's food poisoning.
I don't think it's food poisoning.
It's nicotine poisoning.
I don't think it's nicotine poisoning.
I feel like crap.
I think there's sand in your vagina and that's about it.
Whatever.
Anyway, but it's funny.
So I'm going to be...
It's funny that would give you that kind of reaction.
Mm.
But anyway...
Should just stick with smoking.
Yeah.
Right?
Sure. You're more of a freebase kind of guy anyway. Quicker hit and quicker dissipation, right?
Right.
That's what freebasing does.
Yeah. That's why I don't understand people that can do edibles and shit.
I'm not going to touch that stuff.
Oh!
I won't touch that stuff edibly, freebasively, liquid, whatever. I don't even want it in pill form.
Well, you couldn't do any of it, I don't think.
But anyway, enough about the drugs. Oh yeah. So we had a whole bunch of topics lined up, but then
because we were going to do 2 parts.
Yes, but then you got your weird condition from the. Although that sour cream probably wasn't very good.
Maybe it's just bad sour cream, dude. I'm not going to get into the detail of it for our audience, but...
Well, not everybody's into potty humor, I suppose. But, kind of in line with a thing that's been on my mind a lot for many, many years. The whole saying and doing and, things that sound good in your head, and then when people try to do stuff, it just kind of falls apart and all that other BS. I really hate, more so now when people, I tend to think of the quote that's attributed to Ben Franklin. I don't know if he said it or not, but those who would sacrifice liberty for security deserve neither. Right.
Well, that's kind of one of those things where it's easy to say, hard to do.
Oh, I totally believe it. And I also know from my time on Earth that if you go to 100 people, you might get a handful of people that would actually do it.
A handful.
A handful that would not sacrifice their liberty for security.
It's a small number.
I out of 100, probably, I think maybe if I got a handful, I'd be like...
Out of 100 people?
Yeah.
Well, that's more than I thought.
What?
I thought you were going to say a handful of people out of 10,000.
No. Out of 100 people, maybe a handful. Because unless you've been terrified out of your mind, you're just not going to know. And the funny thing is, I remember one of my friends, we were watching... Years and years ago, we were watching The Right Stuff.
Good movie.
And the Gus Grissom controversy. Do you know about Gus Grissom's controversy?
No.
So basically, when he landed, they don't know why, but the cabin door blew, and they lost the capsule.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so there was a question.
They think he did it.
There was a question as to whether he panicked.
Right.
Or whatever.
And then they lost the capsule.
Right. And so my buddy was like, I don't get it. He's a combat vet. I'm like, you don't get less scared. If anything, you get more scared because you just, if you're in a dangerous situation and you come out of it, you don't feel invincible unless you're a frickin' crazy person.
Right.
Every dangerous or life-threatening situation you get out of, don't make you sit there and go, "Oh, I'm invincible." What it does make you go is, "Am I going to survive the next one?"
So do you think when you're younger, you just don't worry about that shit so much?
I don't think you think about it at all.
When you're young?
Well, yeah, I mean, when you were 20, you never had any concept of dying.
No.
Or being, severely physically injured.
Shit, man, you do all sorts of stupid shit and just not even think about it.
Right. And so yeah, my buddy was like, what do you mean it doesn't go away? So I was like, it doesn't go away. If you're in an incredibly stressful, life-threatening situation, it doesn't get any easier. You just want it to stop. And after a while, you don't care how it stops.
So when you think about giving up freedom... Oh, no.
Giving up freedom for security.
Well, giving up security for freedom. What would that look like?
Giving up security for freedom?
Yeah.
I think it would look like a much more palatable world.
Okay.
For the majority of us.
But you think that, well, what stops it? Probably fear, right? It's got to be fear.
Well, yeah, I would imagine.
Fear of the unknown, fear of things not,
Well, but the funny thing is everyone, I can go up to 100 people, and 100 people will say that they're brave.
Really?
Yeah. Unless they're just trying to mess with me.
I don't know.
I'm not saying
I feel like there's people that would say I'm not a brave person.
Yeah, but in their mind, I think they would think that they are, a little bit.
If they were being honest, do you think that they would say that they're brave?
I think that everyone in their heads thinks that they are at least a little bit brave.
Yeah, that's fair.
I'm pretty sure I haven't done a survey or gone out and done mind melds with every male. Every dude thinks that he's a brave guy. He's going to protect his family, protect his woman, get out there and
well, you kind of have to think that.
Do you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Otherwise, what are you?
Well, at this point, it doesn't really matter because language has been eviscerated.
So you think words mean nothing?
I think words do mean nothing now.
Yeah.
But I try not to live that way.
So less words would be better.
Well, not even that, just more correct words and more honesty.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to go through any of the words because, first of all, it's bullshit if you want to start trying to define stuff. Because, because people are like, okay, well, this wasn't defined, so that means it's okay. I'm like, this is not statutory reading. Right?
Oh, statutory law, one of the most fucking statutory interpretation. One of the most boring, terrible classes I ever took in law school.
Well, I think it's kind of stupid with contracts when people sit there and say everything is covered. For example, I would always cut that. Don't tell me everything's covered. If you sit there and try to define what's covered,
then you're going to have... Yeah, no.
It's kind of conflicting. Everything's covered. It's like this. Like, okay, so if everything like this is covered, so this thing is not like that. So my argument is it's not covered because it's different. But the intent was everything to be covered. Now, would I as a judge sit there and allow that? Everything's covered? Full stop? No. They were like, that's bullshit.
You gotta say everything's covered and then say...
No, I would say you can cover this.
Okay. What, and then just define it really broadly?
You can define it as broadly or as specifically as you want, but you can't say everything is covered.
But what if you define it really broadly?
That's just like saying everything is covered.
So I don't... Wait. So what would you advocate for in terms of drafting then? Broad or narrow? Depends.
Well, I would advocate as an individual that you need to start having some specificity about stuff, number one.
Yeah. And
know that you can't cover everything.
So you think it's just laziness now?
No, it's
or it's just it's activism.
It's never. Now I'm confused.
Well, it's the activists that always try and get you on the language, right? They try and like redefine things.
Not necessarily. Well, people that are trying to redefine things, yeah.
Right. They say this is this.
But I don't
like, know.
Yeah, yeah. I get loads of what is it? Disrespect, dislike. I don't know what you call it. Hatred, maybe. Who cares? But I'm not gonna play along with bullshit. I mean, we had a conversation many years ago, many years ago, with some woman, and I was like, shit, this is probably like 15, 16 years ago. I was like, it's really. Remember, we're sitting there having coffee, and I was like, I said something like, I think men are forgetting how to be men.
Right.
And her immediate response, like, what do you mean? I was like, well, if you don't know, I'm not going to explain it to you. End of conversation. Because she did know.
But she didn't want to acknowledge.
Well, no, she wanted me to say something that she'd be like, aha! You're contradicting yourself from what you said 2 seconds ago. I was like, I'm not going to play that. I'm not going to play that, especially with someone 95 to 98% of what you think of yourself is dependent upon your situation.
Okay.
If you're making good money, you think you're hot shit.
Yep.
If you're not making good money, you think you're a bum.
It's kind of weird.
Right. Do you know why we think that?
Because that's what we're being taught?
No, because we think we had something to do with it. And while it is a great thing right now,
had something to do with it.
We didn't have what we generally think we had to do with it is not what we had to do with it.
Okay.
We all think that we're brave. We all think that we're smart. Some of us think that we're whatever we think of ourselves. You can divide that by a factor, an order of magnitude. Move that decimal place over to the left.
Oh, you're a tenth of what you think you are?
Yes. You're as tenth.
I can do math.
You're as tenth as you're a tenth as good of as you think you are. You're a tenth as bad as what you think you are. Most of the time.
Why, it goes both ways?
I believe so.
How the hell does it go both ways?
Because our self-image is really skewed. A lot of the time.
Wait a second. So if I think I'm really good at something, chances are I'm a tenth as good. If I think I'm shit at something, chances are I'm actually 10 times better than I think I am when I think I'm shit.
Probably. Because we all think we're the best, whether we want to or not. We think that we're outstanding. We think that we're in the top 10% of everything.
Outstanding!
Why does everyone think they're smart?
I don't know. That shit's just hardwired, bro.
Right. Everyone thinks they're smart, right? But you go and ask someone how many of the population is smart. They'll all say somewhere between 10 to 20%. Right? Mm-hmm. It sounds like a fucking Yogi Berra quote.
What, 10 to 15% of people are smart?
100% of people think that they're in the top 10 to 20%. That's like Yogi Berra. It's like 90% of the game is physical, the other half is mental.
Yeah. Oh, he said the other half is mental?
Right. He said 90% of the game is physical, the other half is mental.
Was he being facetious?
No, I think that's just the way he talked.
That's so weird.
I mean, he wasn't stupid.
Yeah. The other half is mental.
He's a good baseball player. But
I can't picture what he looks like.
He's taller than what I thought. They say he's like 5'7". I thought he was like 5'4" or something.
Well, who did he play for?
Yankees.
The same era as who?
DiMaggio, Mantle, Lou Gehrig.
Okay.
Babe Ruth, maybe.
Hey man, I've watched baseball, but I didn't grow up in America, dude.
I grew up in America. I didn't watch baseball, and yet.
If you ask your average Kiwi who Yogi Berra is, they'll be like, he's a bear that's on a cartoon.
Which was made inspired by Yogi Berra, the catcher for the New York Yankees.
I thought it's so funny because I thought it would be the other way around.
Yeah.
That he was named after the damn bear.
No, it was the other way around. So I forget where we're going. But yeah, I do. I think that it could be... It could be
in circles, bro.
That's fine. It's life. You don't get anywhere.
I hate that.
What? That you don't get anywhere in life?
That it's like circular. That it feels like circles.
Well, I guess...
Or a, what is it?
A hamster wheel?
Yes.
Which is also...
A circle.
You're on fire today.
Oh, man, I feel like shit.
But yeah.
If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't, like, because you're like, we're doing this podcast somewhere. I don't want to.
Too bad. Well, no, don't you have any statements that people kind of throw out there that make you just go, the fuck are you talking about?
I can't think of any right now.
But yeah, that one's a big one for me. You know, a person who would give up liberty for security deserves neither. Totally on board. I 100% agree. You go up to 100 people, you might get 4 that will actually do it. Think about it. Patriot Act. Everything that's happened since September 11th.
Okay.
Coronavirus stuff.
Oh, okay.
That what in history?
You know what I hate is the one. Fuck. It was at the grocery store every hour. Can't remember it, but there were so many bad ones with the coronavirus stuff. They said. It was all about like keeping like doing this for everybody.
Oh, that's bullshit.
You know, what was it?
Although I wear my mask for you, or all that bullshit.
There was that, and then there was
this whole idea that you're kind of your actions are not for your benefit; it's for somebody else's benefit.
Idea that they were all geared around this whole idea of like the social consciousness and that we're doing this for everybody else. That was like the gist of all of the things, but it wasn't.
Well, it's a great sentiment.
No, but they were doing it to make it get everybody to do the herd mentality.
You're interrupting my thing.
I love interrupting you.
You're interrupting me while I'm trying to interrupt. Stop interrupting me while I'm interrupting you. No, remember the line?
No,
it was from that Churchill movie.
I'm all upset over here now.
It's the darkest. Remember, it was from
the darkest before the dawn.
No, the darkest hour where they were doing something, and Churchill was like, "Will you stop interrupting me while I'm interrupting you?"
No, but all of the coronavirus quotes were about getting this herd mentality going of basically ostracizing anybody that questioned anything.
No, what it was supposed to do was supposed to get a large subset of the population to give them all warm, fuzzy, and wet.
About the vaccines.
About what they were thinking to try and make other people also, because that sounds...
Firstly, they called it a vaccine.
That sounds chauvinistic and misogynistic at the same time, and you know what? I don't give a fuck.
Firstly, they called it a vaccine. It's not a vaccine. Secondly, they told everybody that it was like 100% safe, when there's no way they could have known, because it's not a vaccine. There's no way that they could have known what the long-term effects of it could be.
I don't think you need to sit there and poo-poo the people that were saying the bullshit. You need to poo-poo the dumbasses that were believing the bullshit. This is 100% safe. What the fuck is 100% safe? You can't find chewing gum that's 100% safe. Have you seen some of the labels on that shit?
And then the ages keep dropping. They were like, oh, it's safe for, it's safe for teenagers. Oh, now it's safe for 12-year-olds.
Again, if you're the dumbass that believe that, have you read the back of NyQuil?
No. I just drink it.
They tell you about every fucking warning under the sun, and I'm dropping F-bombs like crazy, but that's because I'm a little hacked off right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm hacked off not at the people peddling the lies, I'm hacked off at the dumbasses that believe them.
There's a lot, though.
Well, it's not my fault that you're a dumbass.
This is true.
And it's not my responsibility to make your dumbass feel better.
Dude, you've hit the nail on the head right there. That is the epitome of what's going on all over society right now.
And it makes me so angry.
I am a dumbass, and I have these strange ideas about these things that make no sense whatsoever, and you're supposed to cater to my dumbassery.
Yeah.
And then people get upset when people don't.
But it's not different from any other time.
I think people are dumber.
No.
No.
No. We know less stuff about surviving in a situation where there is no electricity or power or phones. But if you magically teleported some guy from like the 1300s to now, I think he'd have a stroke.
Oh, just because of everything that's so different?
Yeah. Where do you get you? You mean I can go somewhere and pick up food, but if I try to take it, you won't let me? I have to give you some paper? Or I have to take this little card made of some weird substance and touch something else, and then I can have this?
Yeah. There's a story about some guy in California. He was the last member of some tribe, and he was isolated. And then they found him, like, 20 years after they thought all the tribe members were gone. They kind of found him somewhere, and they brought him into like modern society, and apparently he was pretty on board with everything, like not too freaked out, and was like totally calm.
Right. So what do you talk about the time difference? And
well, it's just interesting to me, like this guy didn't have a freak out.
Right, but I'm talking about if you took someone from like, I don't know, about 1,000 years ago.
Oh. Are you talking about like
and plopped
ancient man?
Just like if you took one of us 1,000 years ago, we'd just die. We'd be like a domesticated turkey. We'd starve to death, or someone would kill us. Who knows how to purify water? Who knows how to catch and skin an animal?
Very few people now.
Nobody.
No, there's people that can still skin animals.
Yeah, they think they can, but you drop somebody 1,000 years ago with no modern anything.
Yeah.
And you say, all right, survive.
Oh, you're going back in time in this example.
Yeah.
No,
you see that Naked and Afraid show is bullshit, because you don't take these two dumbasses into the woods and just drop them there. Can you imagine the lawsuits that stupid little channel would get?
No, there's a camera crew. There's like medical stuff.
And even I think the stupidest thing about that show is
they're not naked.
No, is they blur it out.
That's what I meant.
They are naked. They just blur it. I'm like, that's dumb.
They should show it. Or
why don't they just call it like Bikinis and Afraid? People in Speedos and bikinis, and just because they get to take one thing from present day or whatever.
Right.
That's
usually a flint for fire.
Or whatever it is.
I used to really enjoy that show. I don't watch it anymore.
I tried to get into that show, but I watched a couple episodes and I was like, this is dumb.
It's funny when you see the vegetarians, though. The ones that are like 3 days in, man.
They're eating.
3 days in, when they're with the meat eater, and the meat eater catches something, that shit gets eaten.
Well,
because by that point your body's like starving.
Okay, I'm not even getting to that. But anyway, yeah, no, I think aside from the thing that you think that
we're all in this together.
That's bullshit too.
That's what it was. I think that was one of them.
Oh,
we're all in this together.
You don't like that? I don't like that either.
I didn't like we're all in this together.
Well, why don't you like it?
I didn't like we're all in this together because it wasn't we all at all. It was like people that were making a lot of money and making a lot of profits and taking advantage of coronavirus versus everybody else.
Okay, so I think in a roundabout way, we're talking about the same thing.
Okay.
Because, no, I agree with you. When I hear someone saying we're all in this together, or we should do this, that's what comes out of their mouth. What comes out of their brain is you need to do all this sacrificing so that I can do whatever the F I want.
Yeah. Well, that's a better summary than mine, but
that's what you meant.
That was the general feeling that I
heard what you meant, my brother.
And it was like, wherever you went, grocery store, Walgreens, whatever, that was like everywhere. We're all in this together. And every time I heard it, I would be like, that is a load of fucking shit.
And people tried to shame you when you didn't. The whole thing that, everybody kind of went along with all this and proves my point, right?
That people are morons?
Well, no, that's not my point. My point was you go up to 100 people and you might get 5. Well, I think maybe a handful.
Anybody that questioned got like... I remember seeing... There was this woman, it was like British television, and she was questioning stuff, and all these schmucks on the morning talk show, all these dudes were just trying to bully the fuck out of her and say, you don't know what you're talking about, blah, 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 blah. And then now, like, after the fact, is there, like, there's no apologies coming from any of these people.
You don't have to apologize.
Oh, I'm sorry, I fucking, I was totally fucking wrong.
I say...
about all this shit. I say that person shouldn't have a job anymore.
Well, I live my life, I try to, according, I don't remember which numbered rule it is, according to Saul's rule.
Saul?
Saul Alinsky.
Which one is it?
Make people live up to the letter of their laws. So you're a person of love and prove it. You love the environment. Prove it. We're all in this together. Prove it. I don't believe you, you sack of shit. And, in case anyone wonders what I was doing during that, I wasn't doing anything. I never talked to anybody anyway, so there's really no way for me to get canceled because you can't cancel what's already been canceled. Have no friends. Have nobody to talk to. I'm just...
Hey, man, what am I, chopped liver?
You're a little bit heftier than chopped liver, but I was out purifying my water and...
Not too much changed.
Which I thought was funny. All these people talking...
We still recorded, remember?
Yeah. Well,
that still came down.
Well, that was the social thing. But I thought it was real funny how everyone was like, oh, everyone's depressed and all this is going on. I was like, well, what's different?
Oh, I was like a little... First few weeks, I was watching a lot of news, and I was kind of like not feeling very good.
First few weeks, I was eating too much, but I was kind of... Well, I was just being lazy. I was kind of glad
they closed the gyms, too.
It wouldn't have helped, man.
They closed the gyms, they closed the buffets.
Back then, whenever I used to work out pretty heavily, all I did was just eat 10 times more than I worked out. So there was no way for me to lose any weight.
The thing that gets me, though, is it's like everything's just moved on, and now it's like now we're supposed to all just be focusing on what? Sports teams and being a good citizen, and like we're supposed to forget everything that went on.
Being docile, being a good citizen means you question the authority. Authority hates that, and you don't want to live a shitty life like me, then don't do it. But you want to put your money where your mouth is, then you got to be a thorn. You got to be inconvenient. You got to be
hard.
You got to be a bit of an asshole.
That's hard as if like at 97 of those 100 people are fucking against you.
Well, but if you're a born asshole, then it'd be harder to go along.
Yeah, but those the people that aren't going for freedom and liberty.
Yeah.
They're afraid of the people that go for the freedom and liberty, to the point where they're going to sit there and like try and like make your life as hard as possible and make it so you can't fucking survive and live.
Look, I think those people hate the handful, not because they disagree, but because they depend on that handful for the life that they live and the plenty that they get.
Yeah.
And if those handful didn't, then everybody would be eating tubs of shit.
But what's funny about it is that...
So I guess I kind of agree with Ayn Rand in The Fountainhead.
Which part?
Well, the part where basically her thesis is, look, y'all hate the individual that created the person that does.
Right.
But that person gave you everything that you have. Like the person who invented the wheel, they probably strung him on a wheel thing and killed him.
Right.
But they use it. And they benefit from it.
To me, that just demonstrates the insanity of humanity.
Well, luckily you've been saved by the bell.
Yeah.
So...
Is there anything more? Because it doesn't really matter. I mean, we can talk more.
I don't know why this thing's still going.
Yeah.
But, no, that's good. I think this is a good stopping place. Thank y'all for hanging out for as long. If you've hung out for this long, I'm very impressed, and thank you very much.
It was a bit of a rant today.
Was it ranty? I thought it was pretty...
I felt, well, you went ranty maybe, but I was ranty.
I thought it was pretty insightful. Anyway, like, subscribe, do all the things that that people say that you're supposed to do so that we can think about doing all the stuff that people say we're supposed to do, right?
Yep. Tell your friends about us. Spread the word. Low Fact Podcast.
That sounds like a joke that I heard.
You gonna tell a joke to everybody now?
So this is, you're supposed to do this to, say this to a woman as a male. It's like, you know, tonight we're going to call legs the word. So,
the word?
Yeah, so why don't we come back to my place tonight and spread the word?
That's a stupid joke.
It is.
I like it though.
Oh, well, somebody does.